Have you ever wondered how a group of self-proclaimed degenerates on Reddit managed to make Wall Street professionals lose billions of dollars overnight? In January 2021, an army of retail investors from the subreddit WallStreetBets sent GameStop stocks soaring over 1,700%, crushing hedge funds and turning ordinary people into millionaires. But this wasn't just a one-time fluke. It was one of many instances where these internet traders outplayed the traditional market. I've analyzed the most legendary WallStreetBets wins and discovered the patterns behind these market-breaking moments. Today, let's take a look at 10 times Degens beat Wall Street at its own game, turning pocket change into life-changing wealth, and how the financial establishment never saw it coming. The Gamestop Millionaire. The GameStop saga of 2021 is where WallStreetBets truly entered the mainstream consciousness. But while everyone was focused on the overall movement, individual traders were making life-changing money. One WSB user turned a relatively modest $50,000 investment in GameStop call options into over $11 million in just a few weeks. Think about that for a second. $50,000 to $11 million, that's a 22,000% return. If you had invested just $5,000, you would have walked away with $1.1 million. The user posted screenshots of their Robinhood account as proof, showing how their position grew day after day as GameStop's stock price surged past $400. What made this win so significant wasn't just the amount. It was that it came directly at the expense of established hedge funds like Melvin Capital, who had heavily shorted the stock. The GameStop Millionaire became an overnight legend on the subreddit, proving that individual investors could not only compete with Wall Street professionals, but sometimes absolutely demolish them. Melvin Capital lost 53% of its value in January 2021 alone, about $4.5 billion, and was forced to get a $2.75 billion bailout from other hedge funds. While the fund tried to recover, the damage was too severe, and it eventually shut down in 2022, showing the power of the WSB movement. Deep fucking values, diamond hands. No discussion of WallStreetBets would be complete without mentioning Keith Gill, known online as U/Deep Fucking Value or Roaring Kitty on YouTube. His GameStop play wasn't just lucky timing, it was the result of deep research and unwavering conviction. In 2019, Gill invested about $53,000 in GameStop when the stock was trading around $5. At the time, most Wall Street analysts were predicting GameStop's imminent bankruptcy as digital game downloads were supposedly killing the business. When Gill shared his position on WallStreetBets, he was initially mocked. But Gill wasn't deterred. He posted detailed analyses explaining why he believed GameStop was severely undervalued. He pointed to the company's strong cash position, the upcoming console cycle, and the potential for a turnaround under new management. His regular GME YOLO update posts showed his unrealized gains and sometimes losses as he held through massive volatility. When GameStop exploded in January 2021, Gill's $53,000 investment peaked at an astonishing $48 million. That's a 90,466% return. Even more impressively, he held through the entire roller coaster, showcasing the diamond hands mentality that became central to WSB culture. Gill later testified before Congress, famously stating, "I am not a cat, and I like the stock," solidifying his place as the patron saint of WallStreetBets. The Tesla YOLO Bet. Before the GameStop phenomenon, there was Tesla. In mid-2020, a WSB user posted evidence of a $10,000 options bet on Tesla, declaring with absolute confidence, "Elon's gonna take us to the moon." This was when Tesla was trading around $500 pre-split, and many professional analysts were still rating it as overvalued. The WSB trader believed differently, arguing that Tesla wasn't just a car company, but an energy and AI company that would dominate multiple industries. As Tesla's stock began its historic rally, the user kept updating their position. Within weeks, that $10,000 had turned into over $1.2 million, a 12,000% gain. The WallStreetBets community celebrated with memes of tendies raining from the sky. What made this win particularly sweet for the WSB community was that it came as Tesla became the most shorted stock in market history. As the stock surged, short sellers lost an estimated $40 billion throughout 2020. Once again, the retail traders had outplayed the professionals. The Tesla YOLO trader became a WSB legend, not just for the size of their gain, but for their unwavering belief in Elon Musk when Wall Street was overwhelmingly skeptical. The GUH Guy. Not all WSB stories are about gains. Sometimes the most legendary moments come from spectacular losses that become cultural touchstones. That's exactly what happened with the infamous GUH Guy. In 2019, a WSB trader live-streamed his reaction to an Apple earnings announcement, having bet $40,000 on Apple puts, essentially betting the stock would go down. When Apple instead reported strong earnings and the stock jumped, the trader watched in real time as his Robinhood account plummeted. As thousands of dollars evaporated in seconds, all he could muster was a guttural goo sound that instantly became WSB lore. The clip went viral within the community, and GUH became shorthand for the moment a trade goes catastrophically wrong. While this might seem like a straightforward loss, it actually represents a win for the WSB community in a different way. It created a cultural moment that bonded members together and normalized the idea that losses are part of trading. The trader's willingness to publicly share his failure created a more realistic picture of high-risk trading than the carefully curated success stories typical of investment communities. It became such an iconic part of WSB culture that members would often comment just "GUH" on posts showing massive losses, an acknowledgement of shared pain that made individual failures feel less isolating. AMC Moonshot. While GameStop dominated headlines during the 2021 meme stock frenzy, another theater was playing out, literally, with AMC Entertainment Holdings. In May 2021, a WSB user posted proof of a $25,000 investment in AMC call options when the stock was trading around $12. Their thesis was simple. As COVID restrictions lifted, movie theaters would see a resurgence, and the massive short interest in AMC made it ripe for a squeeze similar to GameStop's. The post gained traction with WSB members rallying behind the Apes Together Strong mantra, a reference to Planet of the Apes that symbolized retail investors banding together. As more WSB traders piled in, AMC's stock went parabolic, surging over 300% in just a few days to peak around $72. Our original WSB user saw their $25,000 options position explode to approximately $500,000. A 1,900% return. The community celebrated with AMC-themed memes, and some members even used their profits to rent out entire AMC theaters for private screenings. What made the AMC Moonshot particularly interesting was how the company's management directly engaged with the WSB community. AMC's CEO Adam Aron embraced being a meme stock, even announcing special screenings and NFTs for shareholders. He recognized the power of these retail investors, who had essentially saved the company from potential bankruptcy during the pandemic. The Hertz bankruptcy pump. In May 2020, car rental company Hertz filed for bankruptcy as the pandemic decimated the travel industry. Traditionally, bankruptcy filings cause stocks to plummet as shareholders typically get wiped out in a reorganization. But, in a move that baffled financial experts, Hertz's stock began rising dramatically after the bankruptcy announcement. The reason? WallStreetBets traders had decided the stock was worth gambling on. One particularly bold WSB user posted evidence of a $5,000 investment in Hertz shares at around $1 per share, arguing that market irrationality would drive a short-term pump regardless of fundamentals. Their thesis wasn't that Hertz was a good company, it was that enough other people would buy it anyway. Incredibly, they were right. Within days, Hertz stock soared to $5.53, a 453% increase. The WSB users sold their position for approximately $27,650, netting a $22,650 profit before the stock eventually crashed back down. Wall Street veterans were stunned. Hertz was literally in bankruptcy proceedings, yet retail investors had created enough momentum to drive a spectacular rally. This case illustrated a fundamental shift in market dynamics. Sometimes, particularly in the short term, sentiment can completely override fundamentals. The Hertz bankruptcy pump became a classic example of what critics would call a pump-and-dump scheme. But it demonstrated how the collective action of retail traders could create profitable opportunities even in seemingly hopeless situations. The SPY zero-day disaster. In March 2022, as inflation fears gripped the market, one particularly confident WSB user decided to make a massive bet that the market would crash. They posted evidence of a $100,000 investment in SPY put options, essentially betting against the entire S&P 500 index that would expire that same day. These zero-day options are extremely risky because they lose value extremely quickly if the market doesn't move in your direction. The trader was betting everything on an immediate market collapse. Unfortunately for them, the market rallied instead. Within hours, their $100,000 investment had dwindled to just $2,000, a 98% loss in a single day. True to WSB culture, they posted the devastating loss porn screenshot, earning thousands of upvotes and comments ranging from sympathy to dark humor. While this might seem like a clear loss rather than a win, it demonstrates a different kind of victory for the WSB community, the willingness to take enormous risks and be transparent about the consequences. The trader became famous within the community not despite their loss, but because of it. The post served as both entertainment and education for other members, who could see the real dangers of such high-risk strategies without having to experience the losses themselves. This trader's $98,000 sacrifice became a valuable lesson for countless others, potentially saving the community millions in avoided losses, a different kind of beating the market. Palantir Prophet. In late 2020, data analytics company Palantir Technologies went public via a direct listing. While Wall Street was cautiously optimistic about the company, WallStreetBets saw it as the next big thing. One particularly passionate WSB trader invested $15,000 in Palantir call options shortly after its public debut, hailing it as the future of big data and predicting it would revolutionize how governments and corporations process information. They shared detailed posts about Palantir's government contracts and unique market position. As WSB members rallied behind the stock with their signature rocket emojis and PLTR to the moon memes, Palantir's stock began a steady climb. By February 2021, the stock had more than doubled, and our WSB Prophet's $15,000 options position had ballooned to approximately $150,000, a 900% return. What made this win notable wasn't just the size of the gain, but how it demonstrated WSB's growing influence. As more members piled into Palantir based on the original poster's conviction, they created a self-fulfilling prophecy. The stock rose partly because they believed it would rise. This Palantir Prophet showed how WSB could function as a collective research community, where users with genuine insights could share their theses and potentially profit, alongside others who recognize the value of their analysis. The Robinhood Glitch King. In late 2019, a WSB user discovered a serious flaw in Robinhood's trading system that allowed for infinite leverage. By exploiting a quirk in how the app handled covered calls, they turned a $2,000 deposit into a $50,000 position. The user detailed their hack on WallStreetBets, earning the title Glitch King as other members began replicating the strategy. Some users reportedly leveraged positions worth over $1 million from relatively small initial deposits. The WSB community celebrated this discovery with memes calling the user a genius autist, their term for someone with savant-like trading insights. The exploit spread so widely that it caught the attention of financial news outlets and eventually forced Robinhood to patch the glitch. While Robinhood eventually closed the loophole and restricted the accounts that had exploited it, the Glitch King had exposed a serious vulnerability in one of the most popular trading platforms, something that Wall Street professionals with their sophisticated trading systems had failed to identify. This episode highlighted how the collective intelligence of retail traders could sometimes outmaneuver the safeguards of established financial institutions, finding opportunities in overlooked corners of the market. BlackBerry Revival. In early 2021, as the GameStop saga was unfolding, another former tech giant was getting the WSB treatment. BlackBerry. A WSB user invested $30,000 in BlackBerry options, posting a detailed analysis arguing that the company had successfully pivoted from smartphones to cybersecurity and automotive software, markets with massive growth potential. They pointed to BlackBerry's partnerships with Amazon and Baidu as evidence of its promising future. As the post gained traction, more WSB members began researching BlackBerry and coming to similar conclusions. The stock, which had been trading around $7, began to surge as the WSB hive mind turned its attention to this forgotten tech company. Within weeks, BlackBerry's stock price had tripled to over $25, and our WSB users' $30,000 options position had grown to approximately $400,000, a 1,233% return. They posted their gain screenshot, further fueling interest in the stock. What made this win significant was how it demonstrated the power of the WSB community to identify undervalued companies that had been overlooked by mainstream analysts. While Wall Street had largely written off BlackBerry as a has-been, these retail traders recognized the value in its transformation and were rewarded handsomely for their insight. These 10 stories show how WallStreetBets has fundamentally changed the dynamics of the stock market. What was once the exclusive playground of hedge funds and institutional investors has become a battlefield where ordinary people can sometimes win extraordinary victories. The traders we've highlighted today didn't just get lucky, they identified opportunities that Wall Street missed, whether through deep research like deep fucking value, recognizing cultural shifts like the Tesla YOLO trader, or exploiting market inefficiencies like the Hertz bankruptcy gambler. What makes WallStreetBets truly revolutionary isn't just the size of these wins. It's how they've democratized financial information and created a community where retail investors can share insights, strategies, and yes, memes that sometimes lead to market-beating returns. If you enjoyed this deep dive into WallStreetBets' biggest legends, hit the like button and subscribe for more content breaking down the most fascinating phenomena in finance. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.